Imagine a life where your mind is free from the constant noise of stress, doubt, and overthinking. A life where you no longer carry the weight of grudges or the burden of comparing yourself to others. Picture yourself no longer dwelling on past mistakes or fearing the future. In today's video, we're going to explore 7 powerful habits you need to quit to truly free your mind and experience the inner peace you deserve. Drawing inspiration from the timeless wisdom of Buddhism, these transformative lessons will guide you on a path to release mental clutter and unlock clarity, happiness, and emotional freedom. 1. Quit overthinking everything. Overthinking is a habit that many of us unknowingly fall into. It's the act of continuously dwelling on the same thoughts, making scenarios in our heads, analyzing situations far beyond what's necessary, and stressing about things that haven't even happened. Overthinking leads to confusion, stress, and anxiety. It keeps your mind busy but doesn't actually lead to any meaningful action or peace. Buddhism teaches that overthinking creates suffering because it prevents us from being present and experiencing life as it is. The Buddha emphasized mindfulness and being present in each moment, letting go of excessive analysis. Overthinking tends to focus on hypothetical situations, creating mental narratives that can be filled with worry or regret. Instead of letting your mind spiral into these patterns, practice bringing your focus back to the here and now. The next time you find yourself overthinking, pause and take a deep breath. Focus on the present moment, whether it's the feeling of your feet on the ground, the sounds around you, or the task at hand. This mindfulness practice helps you disengage from endless mental loops and brings clarity to your mind. The key here is to trust that things will unfold as they should, and that worrying about every possible outcome only disturbs your peace of mind. When you stop overthinking, you allow yourself to live with clarity, calmness, and confidence. 2. Quit holding grudges. Grudges are a heavy burden, and they keep your mind trapped in a cycle of anger and resentment. We all know the pain of being wronged or hurt by someone, but holding on to that pain, nourishing it, and refusing to forgive only prolongs your suffering. Buddhism teaches that attachment to negative emotions, such as grudges, only creates more suffering. The Buddha often spoke about the importance of forgiveness and the peace it brings, not just to the person who wronged us, but to ourselves. When you hold a grudge, you're giving power to the person who hurt you, even though they may not even be aware of it. Grudges keep your energy tied up in negativity, and they prevent you from moving forward in life. It's like carrying a heavy sack that keeps you stuck in one place. The only way to truly heal is to let go of that sack. Forgiving doesn't mean that what was done to you is acceptable, nor does it erase the pain. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the negative emotions that keep you tied to the past. When you forgive, you free your heart and mind. You release the control the past has over your present and future. Letting go of grudges allows you to open your heart to compassion, understanding, and healing. 3. Quit comparing yourself to others. Comparison is a habit that has been ingrained in many of us by society, but it's one that creates unnecessary suffering. We compare ourselves to others constantly, whether it's in terms of our appearance, success, possessions, or relationships. This habit can lead to feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, or a sense of inferiority. Buddhism teaches us that comparing ourselves to others is not only unhelpful, but also harmful, because it stops us from appreciating our own unique journey. The Buddha's teachings emphasize self-awareness and compassion. When you compare yourself to someone else, you undermine your own progress and self-worth. Everyone is walking a different path with different circumstances, strengths, and struggles. No one has the same experiences. So comparing your journey to theirs is futile. Instead of focusing on others, focus on yourself, on your growth, your challenges, and your achievements. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you begin to embrace your individuality and appreciate the progress you've made. This leads to greater self-compassion, inner peace, and freedom from jealousy. When you embrace your uniqueness, you free yourself from the constant need for external validation. You stop feeling like you're not enough and begin to celebrate who you are, just as you are. You realize that the only comparison that truly matters is to your own past self, and every day is an opportunity to grow and evolve. Saying yes to everything can be a habit formed from a desire to please others or avoid conflict. Many of us fall into this trap, constantly agreeing to commitments, obligations, and requests, even when we don't have the time or energy for them. Over time, this behavior can lead to burnout, resentment, and a lack of self-care. Buddhism teaches us the importance of setting healthy boundaries, and this is especially vital in today's world, where our time and energy are constantly being pulled in multiple directions. The Buddha taught that we must respect our own well-being and practice moderation. When you say yes to everything, you may find yourself overextended and unable to focus on what truly matters to you. Saying yes out of obligation or fear of letting others down can leave you feeling drained and frustrated. It's important to remember that by saying yes to everything, you're often saying no to yourself, your needs, your rest, and your peace. Learning to say no is an essential part of maintaining a peaceful mind. It doesn't make you selfish, it makes you responsible for your own well-being. Saying no allows you to conserve your energy for things that align with your values and priorities. It also shows respect for your own time and limits. The more you practice setting boundaries, the more you will free yourself from the expectations of others and create space for a life that feels balanced and fulfilling. External validation is the habit of seeking approval, recognition, or acknowledgement from others in order to feel good about ourselves. This is something many of us do, whether it's through likes and comments on social media, compliments from friends, or praise at work, or in our personal lives. We may find ourselves craving these external forms of affirmation, believing that they somehow define our value. However, this reliance on external validation comes with several challenges and often leads to feelings of insecurity, anxiety, and a lack of self-worth. The main problem with external validation is that it is temporary, unpredictable, and unreliable. It can feel good in the moment, when someone compliments you, or when you receive approval for something you've done, but that feeling quickly fades. You might find yourself needing to seek that same approval again and again, never fully satisfied and constantly searching for reassurance. This chase for external recognition can create an unhealthy cycle of dependency. Every time you look to others to define your worth, you give away your personal power. This makes you vulnerable to feelings of inadequacy when others don't acknowledge you in the way you hope, or worse, when criticism or rejection comes your way. It leaves you wondering, am I good enough? Do I matter? The result is a deep-rooted sense of insecurity and a lack of confidence in your own abilities and worth. In contrast, Buddhism teaches that true self-worth comes from within, not from the opinions, judgments, or approval of others. The Buddha emphasized the importance of self-compassion and acceptance, which means recognizing and appreciating your inherent value without needing others to affirm it for you. When you rely on yourself for validation, you begin to cultivate a sense of inner peace. You no longer feel dependent on others' approval to feel good about who you are. Instead, you accept yourself as you are, with all your strengths and flaws, knowing that you are enough. This self-love is not about arrogance or superiority. It's about recognizing your own value and treating yourself with the same kindness and respect that you would offer to others. When you stop seeking validation from others, you free yourself from the anxiety and stress that come with constantly needing approval. You no longer find yourself chasing external recognition to feel complete. Instead, you begin to take pride in your own accomplishments and qualities, independent of how others may perceive them. True mental freedom comes when you no longer measure your worth based on external standards. You stop comparing yourself to others or seeking their praise, because you already know that your value is not determined by anything outside of you. You become your own source of encouragement, lifting yourself up with your own beliefs in your abilities, uniqueness, and worth. By learning to validate yourself, you regain your sense of power. You begin to trust in your own judgment and embrace your strengths and weaknesses with acceptance. This is not about perfection, but about self-compassion and self-recognition. When you validate yourself, you create an inner foundation of peace that cannot be shaken by external factors. This shift in mindset not only boosts your confidence, but also allows you to lead a life that is aligned with your own authentic values, rather than being swayed by the approval or disapproval of others. Freeing yourself from the need for external validation is an act of liberation. It means trusting in your own worth, embracing your authentic self, and finding joy and fulfillment from within. When you no longer depend on others for your happiness, you create a deep sense of inner contentment that cannot be easily disturbed. This is true mental freedom, a state where your peace, joy, and confidence come from the beautiful connection you have with yourself, rather than the opinions or judgments of others. 6. Quit dwelling on the past. The past is a powerful force that many of us find ourselves attached to, often without even realizing it. It can be easy to get caught up in memories of things we regret, mistakes we've made, or people who have hurt us. We replay these moments over and over in our minds, wishing we could change them, trying to understand what went wrong, or feeling angry about how things turned out. In doing so, we become emotionally and mentally anchored in what is long gone, preventing us from fully experiencing the present. Buddhism teaches us that attachment to the past creates suffering, and that letting go of it is essential for inner peace. When we dwell on the past, we often trap ourselves in a cycle of regret, guilt, or sorrow. We let the events that have already occurred dictate how we feel today. This can lead to a profound sense of stagnation, as we remain stuck in negative emotions from years or even decades ago. The more time and energy we spend thinking about the past, the less we are able to invest in our present life, and the more we prevent ourselves from moving forward with clarity and purpose. The Buddha's teachings emphasize the impermanence of all things, and the past is no exception. Everything in life changes, and clinging to what is no longer here only holds us back from embracing what is possible right now. One of the key concepts in Buddhism is the practice of mindfulness, being present in the moment without judgment or attachment. When we practice mindfulness, we train ourselves to observe our thoughts without getting lost in them. If you find yourself dwelling on something from the past, gently acknowledge the thought without becoming absorbed by it. Understand that the past is a part of your story, but it doesn't define who you are now or who you can become. You can learn from the past, but it's important not to let it control your present or dictate your future. Letting go of the past is not about erasing it from your memory or pretending it never happened. It's about releasing the emotional grip it has on you. If you've experienced loss, trauma, or pain, it's crucial to allow yourself to grieve and heal, but to also recognize that carrying the weight of the past doesn't help you heal. By accepting that life moves forward and that change is inevitable, you allow yourself to grow and embrace the possibilities of what's to come. The practice of forgiveness, both for others and for ourselves, is an important part of this process. Often, the reason we hold on to the past is that we have not forgiven ourselves or others for things that have happened. But forgiveness does not mean that we condone the wrongs that were done. It simply means that we release ourselves from the emotional burden of resentment, anger, and regret. When we forgive, we let go of the emotional hold the past has on us, and we free ourselves to live more fully in the present. Letting go of the past also involves changing the way we view our experiences. It means recognizing that every event, every moment, and every relationship is a part of our journey. Even if certain things were painful or difficult, they have contributed to who we are today. In Buddhism, we learn to view life with equanimity, understanding that suffering is a natural part of existence, but it does not have to define us. By embracing both the good and the bad as integral parts of our personal evolution, we can free ourselves from being trapped in the past. Another aspect of letting go of the past is allowing ourselves to dream, hope, and plan for the future. When we are constantly looking backward, we miss the chance to envision the future we want to create. The Buddha's teachings encourage us to live with intention and to recognize that we have the power to shape our future through our actions, choices, and mindset in the present moment. By focusing on what is before us, we allow ourselves the freedom to grow, to explore new possibilities, and to let go of the old attachments that no longer serve us. Dwelling on the past also prevents us from cultivating gratitude for what we have in the present. We may become so focused on what we've lost or what went wrong that we fail to notice the blessings in our current lives. Practicing gratitude is a powerful antidote to dwelling on the past. When we shift our focus to appreciating what we have right now, our relationships, health, opportunities, and the beauty of life, we begin to cultivate a deeper sense of contentment and peace. Gratitude helps us break free from the mental patterns that keep us stuck in the past and encourages us to fully embrace the present moment. Fear of letting go is a deeply rooted habit that often holds us back from embracing change, growth, and new opportunities. It's a fear that manifests when we hold on to people, possessions, beliefs, or situations out of attachment or insecurity. We might fear losing something familiar, even if it no longer serves us. Whether it's a relationship that has become toxic, a job that stifles us, or old habits that no longer align with our goals, letting go can feel like stepping into the unknown. However, Buddhism teaches us that attachment is the root cause of suffering, and it is through the practice of detachment that we find true peace and freedom. The fear of letting go often comes from the belief that we need to hold on to something in order to feel secure or complete. We think that without it, we will be lost, lonely, or incomplete. But the Buddha's teachings remind us that nothing in life is permanent. All things, including people, situations, and even our own beliefs, are impermanent. The more we cling to them, the more we resist the natural flow of life. We try to control what we cannot, and in doing so, we create unnecessary suffering for ourselves. Letting go is not about giving up. It's about releasing the emotional or mental hold we have on things that are keeping us stuck. It means understanding that change is unavoidable and welcoming it with openness and acceptance. When we let go, we create space for new experiences, growth, and opportunities. We stop fearing change and start trusting the natural flow of life. Buddhism teaches us that by releasing attachments, we free ourselves to live with more clarity, peace, and ease. The practice of letting go is also deeply connected to our sense of self. We often link our identity to the people, possessions, or roles we take on in life. For instance, we might define ourselves by our job, relationships, or material belongings. But when these things change or disappear, we may feel as if we've lost a part of who we are. The fear of letting go comes from the mistaken belief that our identity depends on what we own or who we are with. In Buddhism, we learn that our true nature is not shaped by external factors. Our essence is found in our awareness, compassion, and wisdom. By releasing our attachments, we reconnect with our true self, the part of us that remains steady and unchanged, no matter what happens around us. Letting go can also be an act of self-compassion. Sometimes we hold on to relationships, jobs, or situations because we feel guilty about walking away or making a change. We fear that letting go might hurt or disappoint others. But in Buddhism, we learn that to truly care for others, we must first take care of ourselves. By releasing what no longer serves us, we create space for a life that aligns with our values and well-being. This isn't selfish. It's about honoring our own needs and building a life filled with purpose and authenticity. Another reason we resist letting go is that we associate it with loss. We worry that by releasing something, we'll be left with emptiness or grief. However, Buddhism teaches that emptiness isn't something to fear. It's a space of potential. When we let go of what no longer serves us, we open the door for something new, something that can bring us greater peace and fulfillment. Just like a garden must be cleared of weeds for new flowers to grow, we too must release old attachments to allow new possibilities to take root. The fear of letting go can also come from our need for control. We often hold on to things because we want to feel in charge of our lives. Letting go means surrendering that control, which can feel uncomfortable. But Buddhism teaches that true freedom doesn't come from control. It comes from acceptance. Acceptance of life's impermanence and the realization that we cannot control everything. Letting go means trusting that, even if we don't know what's ahead, we will be okay. It is an act of faith in the flow of life and in our own ability to adapt and grow. When we practice letting go, we begin to free ourselves from the fears that have been holding us back. We release the fear of uncertainty, the fear of losing something important, and the fear of being without. In doing so, we open ourselves to a life of greater freedom, peace, and joy. We become more resilient in the face of change and better equipped to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and wisdom. Letting go is not a one-time event, but an ongoing practice. Every day we have opportunities to let go, whether it's releasing a negative thought, walking away from a toxic relationship, or letting go of an outdated belief. Each time we let go, we create space for more light, love, and clarity in our lives. We stop clinging to what weighs us down and begin to embrace the beauty of impermanence. The act of letting go is a key part of living a peaceful, mindful, and fulfilling life. When we let go, we allow life to flow through us. We free ourselves from the mental and emotional burdens that keep us stuck and open ourselves to new experiences and opportunities. In doing so, we discover the true freedom that comes from trusting in the natural course of life and in our ability to adapt, grow, and thrive, no matter what comes our way. So, let go. Trust that by releasing what no longer serves you, you are making space for a brighter, more fulfilling future. You are not losing anything that you truly need. What you are gaining is peace, freedom, and the chance to live a life that aligns with your truest self. By letting go of these habits, you open the door to a life of mental clarity, peace, and freedom. Buddhism teaches that releasing attachments, overthinking, comparison, and other harmful patterns allows us to live more fully in the present moment. As you work on freeing your mind from these habits, remember that every step forward brings you closer to a life of happiness and balance. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Heartbound Voice for more insights on Buddhism, mindfulness, and personal growth. May you continue your journey toward inner peace, and may your mind be free